Today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the Hasbro Transformers Robots in Disguise One-Step Transformation UnderBite. What's interesting about UnderBite is this might also be the only Transformer release we have gotten of UnderBite so far. So if you want to get UnderBite, best bet, probably get him as a one-step transformation. Up at the top, a very interesting looking design of UnderBite here. Kind of looks like he's a dragon, maybe mixed with like a shark, mixed with like a bird. It's really neat. The same image carries over to the side there as well, and then on the back, very easy to transform, as indicated by the side illustration there. There is the vehicle mode and then robot mode of UnderBite. Keep wanting to call him Overbite, but UnderBite. You can also download the Transformers Robots in Disguise app, scan the QR code. I say QR code, but just the code, the symbol that's on their chest, and then you can unlock UnderBite as well as something. I don't know what that is. It looks like just a pair of lines. And then on the underside, the other one-step transformations that you can pick up are Bumblebee, Sideswipe, and Strong Arm, all of which Spot's already had a look at. Spot's going to take a break and get this opened up. When we come back, we're going to get a better look at the Transformers Robots in Disguise One-Step Transformation of UnderBite. It's more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. With UnderBite out of packaging, he's not a bad-looking Transformer. He's kind of, the word I want to kind of use for him though is he's a little sloppy. Transformation, or at least from his vehicle mode, his alt mode isn't too bad. The cockpit of the front of the vehicle tends to want to be a little loose, so more times than not, you're not really covering over so much of his face. You might see it flop forward, and then really his face is visually, is right out in the open. You can see right away it's him. So Robots in Disguise, not really so much for UnderBite here. He's got very Decepticon colors. The silver and the black very also add to the overall aesthetics, really makes him look like a Shockwave kind of character. He still rolls really easy, and I like in vehicle mode. I just kind of wish the cockpit could have, what they almost should have done is they should have put almost like a tab point here that you could have locked it in place, that before you transformed him, you could have unlatched him. I guess that technically would count as two-step Transformers and not really live up to the title. But yeah, vehicle mode, it's not bad. It's clearly not a civilian-style vehicle. Once again, that whole Robots in Disguise out the window. To transform UnderBite is, again, where I kind of want to touch base on it being a little more sloppy. All of it relies all on springs and levers. You transform it by pressing the backs of these two sections right here. You push together, kind of like you squeezing somebody's face. If somebody was over there and you were like squishing their brains, that would be what you would be doing with UnderBite. Ew. Anyways, so to transform him, you're going to take the back sections here, and theoretically, you squeeze them together. I say theoretically because more times than not, it doesn't stay. As soon as you let go of it, it transforms or moderately transforms back into vehicle mode. I have found that it transforms and stays in dog mode, Decepticon mode, whatever you would want to call him. More times he doesn't transform than he does. I think I've had him transform probably about twice where it was a successful, because really you're supposed to hold on, you're supposed to let go of it, and it's supposed to stay into the dog mode. It doesn't do that. And I thought it was something I had done. I thought that maybe there's a section on the back that latches into place, but there's really no area that latches. Even like these areas right here, you would think, let me just move the legs out of the way. You would think like even right here, there would be a tab, right? So essentially, if I just move the legs out a little further, there should be like a little tab on either side of this section, because it looks like it wants to clip into this section right here. See that? Like, it gives me no idea as to why those would be there unless there would have been a peg that this could have snapped into there, and then squeeze it again would have retracted and would have removed them from those pegs. But right there, that's where that peg should have worked, that you could have kept all of this together, and sadly it doesn't do that. From there, you can kind of straighten out the legs, and there you have UnderBite. Speaking of UnderBite, yes, he does. He has a very predominant UnderBite. Some nice coloring in silver and the black, and now he's got some red in his eyes. It's not bad. I just wish he would transform. He does have a little lever on the back that you can squeeze it. Yum, 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 yum. Peanut butter sandwiches. But he does move his mouth. Be even cooler of a gimmick if I didn't so much have to hold the back section for him to stay in place, because once again you let go of it and it just kind of holds back. I mean, I wish it was a little cleaner. I wish this section stayed closer to the front of the vehicle mode and not flop forward. It's just a bit of a sloppy transformation. One workaround, and this by no means is the correct transformation, so right down below, that's not the right, I know it's not the right transformation, but one thing that they also could have done too is that even like the legs, I keep saying this, but there's those notches right there. Those legs could have had tab points too, that the legs could have snapped in and held, like even held the back section together. But what I've done is kind of as a short-term fix, and I know it's not really correct, I brought the vehicle mode cockpit forward and I've latched it underneath his head. Now you may say that, hey, wait a minute, that's not how he's supposed to transform, but it gets me from point A to point B. I just kind of had to take a back road to get to there. So there he is. There is UnderBite. Underwhelming maybe is the word I would want to use. I mean, he's not a bad looking transformer. I think he looks neat like this. I just wish he'd actually stay shut. So ultimately, again, I have to kind of just hold. I mean, it's successful to hold it like this, but then you've got this big front. It looks more now like a gorilla, I think, than a dog. And now he's always kind of sitting back. I guess you could kind of straighten out the legs, but when you straighten out the legs, then that brings this section forward. It's just, I kind of wish it had been a cleaner looking transformation. By the way, just to show you guys the comparisons between the two, or between the ones we've looked at, there's Bumblebee. Still probably my favorite of the one-steps. There's Sideswipe. There is Strong Arm. And for giggles, even though I think there is a one-step Grimlock, but just for giggles, there is three-step Grimlock in the back. He scales well, actually, I think, to all the other ones, though he has more steps involved to him. So there you go. Today's Toy Spot, we were having a look at UnderBite. I really wish I could have loved this a little bit more than what I ended up liking it. Sadly, they just didn't give us a strong enough transformation. So much of it relies on levers and springs that the end result is a transformer that just does not transform. You can imagine how frustrated a child would be picking this up and wanting to get it to dog mode, and sadly he can't do that. But again, you can kind of just do like that. That's not the right way. I know that's not the right way, but there you go. Today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the Hasbro Transformers Robots in Disguise one-step transformation of UnderBite. Thanks for watching, as you always do, guys. Certainly stay tuned. Spot's going to have more videos, of course, heading your way. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.